Welcome back to Blind Item Breakdown. Our first blind item is about Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. Damn, Ben Affleck can't catch a break. It reads, what does the A-list everything in her mind celebrity have on her actor slash director ex that he is just willing to give her $30 million that he didn't need to give? You don't just give away $30 million, especially to your ex-wife who made your life a living hell. So what kind of blackmail does Jen have on Ben? This person writes, they always keep coming back to each other. I guess they do deserve each other. A bunch of insufferable people. Another person says that there's no equity in their property. It's mortgaged to the hit. This is not a case of Ben being generous. He doesn't want to pay for her anymore. At some point, it's easier to cut your losses when it comes to nut jobs. $30 million isn't going to change his or even his grandkids' lives at this point. Maybe nothing, this person writes. Maybe she's just good in bed since they continue to hook up regularly. Maybe he's just tired of dealing with her. She seems exhausting. Another person said that he just made $600 million from Netflix, so it's small change to him. Now, it's not like Ben just passed over Jennifer Lopez $30 million in cash. He pretty much signed away his portion of their home so that she can go and deal with selling the property and trying to fix up this mess, which was their marriage. Remember, Ben and Jen bought this $60 million mansion in Beverly Hills back in 2023. It's ridiculous. It's 38,000 square feet, 12 bedrooms, 24 bathrooms, way too big for their family. It really just doesn't make sense. Honestly, I feel like this is when one of those sins come in, the greed. Supposedly, Ben never even liked the house, and even JLo admits that it's too big for her. That same summer, Ben and Jen separated, and he bought himself a nice little $20 million mansion in the Pacific Palisades to be closer to his kids, who he shares with his ex, Jennifer Gardner.
We know he's not done with this Jennifer. He's not giving her a gift. He's keeping his pair of keys because they will never be done. They will always be together, and Ben Affleck will always be in love with anyone named Jennifer.
Let's get into Sabrina Carpenter. This blind item reads, normally the coffee singer would probably ignore the misstep that she made last night, but since she has to return to the same place next week, she will have to address it. I don't know if you guys saw, I was actually there at Sabrina Carpenter's performance, and she made a comment right at the beginning of the show that caught everyone off guard. Essentially, this person was doing some type of Arabic chant or yodeling. I don't know exactly how to describe it, and Sabrina said she was not a fan. And in the year 2026, the big year 2026, I don't think it's okay to say that you're not a fan of someone else's culture, especially when you're an A-lister. Not a good look when America is in war. Sabrina should ask Ariana Grande about the bombing attack at her Manchester concert. It would not go over well. She appears to still suffer from PTSD from it, as do many of her fans and their families who survived. This person says an A-lister and falling fast. Now you can actually hear the chant in this audio clip. Take a listen.
Is that what you're doing?
Sabrina's face, she looks disgusted.
I don't like it. That's your culture, is yodeling? Is this Burning Man? What's going
She's just trying to make a joke of it.
on? This is weird.
At some point when you're that big of a star, you just need to focus on your planned show. You don't have moments where you can go and answer to the crowd. Clearly, she was not PR trained on how to handle that situation. In her response, Sabrina says, my apologies, I didn't see the person with my eyes and I couldn't hear clearly. My reaction was pure confusion, sarcasm, and not ill-intended. Could have handled it better. Now I know what Zagaruta is. I welcome all cheers and yodels from here on out.
I want to answer a few questions about my friend who did the Zagruta during Sabrina Carpenter's Coachella set. She doesn't have a TikTok, so I'm not going to blast her name. First of all, I want to clarify that this is a celebratory chant. It's an expression of joy and celebration. My friend loves Sabrina Carpenter. She got there hella early to be close to the front, and that was her way of expressing how much of a good time she was having. The other point I want to make is about Sabrina. Now, if you've ever performed on a stage like that in that kind of environment, you know that in-ears and the acoustic space can make it really difficult to hear the crowd. Sometimes it can even make it difficult to hear yourself. That said, I'm sure that Sabrina had a million things going through her head in that moment and handled it probably as best as she could, considering that she's a white girl from Philly.
Our next blind item is about Dakota Johnson and Role Model. It reads, everyone's happy to see this materialistic Nepo baby actress thriving in her new relationship with this younger musician. It must feel refreshing after her long, drawn-out breakup with the A-list British singer, and also after that failed fling with one of her co-stars from a recent project. She even brought him around her mom, but all ended in deleted posts and weird vibes. I feel bad for Dakota Johnson. I feel like she's in this point in her life where she wants something that's just difficult to achieve because of where she is in her celebrity status. Dakota is 36 years old. She wants to have kids. She wants to settle down, but you guys know, like, nature's clock is ticking, and she realizes that. Recently, Dakota and Role Model have been spotted kissing during their date nights. Role Model is 28 years old, and it looks like they were in Los Feliz, which is a part of Los Angeles, on a date, and they were kissing. Seems like they were doing it for the cameras. Like, at this point, I just feel like Dakota's acting a little bit desperate. I mean, Role Model's 28. I don't mind the age gap. It's not the worst that we've seen before, let's be honest. Representatives for Dakota and Role Model did not return any of Page 6's requests for comments. There have been rumors that these two have been dating since December 2025. It's kind of a weird relationship. I mean, especially because she went from Chris Martin from Coldplay, who's much older. According to TMZ, they got very close during a candle-lit dinner. It looks like Dakota was lying on Role Model's lap, cuddled up at dinner. It is crazy how these celebrities will act like a restaurant's like their living room. Like, what do you mean you're laying on top of him in a public restaurant? You guys know Dakota Johnson is a Nepo baby. She comes from acting icons Don Johnson and Melanie Griffith. She was together with Chris Martin, the singer of Coldplay, for 8 years. They were even engaged, but they broke up because she wanted kids. And you know what, Chris? I feel like I know why you don't want kids. Because we've talked about his daughter, Apple Martin, before, and she is just rotten. She is a rotten apple, so he probably just doesn't want any more kids in this world. This person writes, this relationship is staged, fake, and boring. So arranged, so tedious. I'll take the dumbest names for $500, which I guess they're referring to Role Model's name. It is an interesting name. I just remember his relationship with Emma Chamberlain, and like, could we do a side-by-side of like Emma Chamberlain and like Dakota Johnson? Because it seems like he's got different types. Same font, but definitely different types. Another person writes, Role Model, right. Wish them all the best, though.
Emma Chamberlain has shaded Role Model after finding out he's dating Dakota Johnson. Photos from a candle-lit dinner over the holidays show Dakota sitting very close to Role Model while friends gathered around them. The two stayed close all night, which quickly got people talking once the image started circulating. What is standing out most is not just Dakota and Role Model together. The biggest focus has turned to Emma Chamberlain and what she might be thinking right now. Role Model and Emma worked together for 3 years, and their split in 2023 was a big moment online, especially since his album Kansas Anymore was tied closely to that breakup. Because of that history, many are revisiting old clips, interviews, and moments between Role Model and Emma. People remember how private but connected they seemed, which makes this new dinner feel sudden to some. The timing has only added to the attention, especially with Emma keeping a low profile lately. During all this, Emma has seemingly spoken out about the talk surrounding Role Model and Dakota. Underneath a quote that said, in my let them era, let them judge you, let them misunderstand you, let them find you better, let them gossip about you, let them lose you, let them. Emma left a comment. In her comment, she wrote, does anyone realize how good this is for your mindset? Many people see this as shade, and I have to agree. But considering she's his ex, you can see why she feels a bit upset about it.
Our next blind item is about Bruno Mars. I've been really worried about him because he's been trapped up in Vegas. He's so addicted to gambling, and he continues to go through this cycle. But according to this blind item, the Planet singer says he's debt-free, but he still has that very, very long contract that he has to fulfill in Vegas. Gambling is such an addiction, a disease, and I do think that there are so many people in this world. Like in my podcast yesterday, we spoke about how Offset has been addicted to gambling. He owes so much money to the casinos, and Bruno Mars is in the same position, but even worse because he owes millions. He'll go and perform, spend it all in one night on gambling, and the guy's broke. This comment reads, I wish I had his problems. Well, you guys know how these artists make money. They have to go on tour, and Bruno Mars kicked off the romantic tour. He's not done a solo tour since 2017, so he's returning to the stage and trying to make that bank. In 2024, there was a news story that he racked up a $50 million gambling gambling debt at the famous MGM casino, which is crazy. That's like almost Ben and Jen's entire house. Recently, when Anderson .Paak reunited with Bruno Mars to perform a few Silk Sonic songs, Anderson .Paak jokes, "I hate to make this about me, but when I think about how much debt, how many steps it took to get here, I get emotional." That is when Bruno replied, "Andy, I'm sorry you're going through all of that. See, I'm debt free. I paid off the casino a long time ago."
I hate to make this about me. When I think about how much debt or how many steps it took to get here, I get emotional. Vegas, I'm pleading with you. Andy, I'm sorry you're going through that. See, I'm debt free. I've been in the casino for a long time. I didn't want to do it to you. I didn't want to do it to you tonight, but I gotta say it. Come on!
I love Bruno Mars's performing. He is such a star. I would love to see him headline Coachella next year. What do you guys think of those rumors in the comments below? Our next blind item is about Pete Davidson. Damn, Pete, we were rooting for you and his wife, Elsie. Now, Pete has really had a transformation in his life, becoming a father, getting his tattoos removed, but it seems like we're running into problems. This blind item reads, "Speaking of babies and bags locked down, the significant other of the former late-night actor is telling friends that things are not looking good in their relationship." Pete Davidson has so much trauma that he's not unpacked when it comes to his father and 9/11 and things he's experienced in fame.
So your dad died during 9/11. He died in one of the buildings?
Yeah, he was a fireman. They were actually the first truck there. There's like this very, this is how shitty my luck is. Also, not to make this all about myself, but
well, it's an interview of you, so it's
right.
If you do, it's okay.
I'm at 9/11, but yeah, it's all about me. There's a very famous shot that you see every 9/11 besides the obvious ones, but they were the first truck over the bridge to the,
so the 9/11?
Yeah, so the front page is just like, "Pete's dad." And like, oh, so
he's waving out the window.
Yeah, he's like that. So, yeah, they were the first truck over there, and pretty much the whole house, died.
Oh,
which is sad, but also at least he died with his pals. It's kind of.
They all went as a group, huh? That's his truck.
No, that's the picture. You see the truck on the bridge?
Oh,
yeah. My dad's in there, dude. I wonder if. Well, you know,
that's something Shane Gillis would say, dude.
Pretty gay, dude.
Yeah.
He's in there. It's pretty gay. I don't know.
Yeah, dude.
Honestly, I'm not surprised that there's trouble in paradise, especially him becoming a father, having that relationship with his son, realizing how he was, like his father was not in his life. I think that there's a lot of trauma to unpack here. At least she gets 18 years of child support, this person writes. If she thought she was going to get rich, though, I can't imagine in 10 years that he'll have a lucrative career. A male with bipolar disorder destroying his relationship? Why, I never. This person adds, I love Pete, but he isn't relationship material, and I feel sorry for the kid they brought into this. This person writes that commenters predicted this. Now she will get child support and other money that she wants, more publicity and other opportunities to exploit Pete Davidson. So awful to bring a child into this mess only for personal gain. Another person adds that he's selling properties off. Never a good sign. Well, if you were to ask Elsie straight to her face, or at least a couple months ago, she would say that everything is fine and dandy in her relationship with Pete.
I could not ask for a better father for my child. I'm so happy it's him. We're both very conscious of not putting pressure on this whole thing of this child is gonna fill a void or be this thing that I never had type thing. But I do think that there is this really healing aspect of knowing that we're going to be able to give a child the lives that we didn't have, and the support and the love and the family vibe that we don't feel like we had. And so I think it is important to strike that balance of, like I say, not adding that pressure. But I think we're gonna be cool parents. I hope. I sometimes just feel feel the way that we are with one another, and I'm really glad and I'm really proud that this is how it is, and this is how it's gonna be.
It is fascinating that he is selling his home. He just bought it in 2023. Now he's selling it in 2026. It's his home listed in North Salem, which is in New York. The house was built in the 1930s. It's on 6 acres. They've got a movie theater in the garage, a pool, a hot tub. It sounds Rather nice. It looks like he's also currently renting a brownstone in Brooklyn as he's selling his condo in Staten Island. Sounds like he's got a few properties that he's trying to get rid of, probably trying to collect that extra cash because kids are expensive.
Staten Island's a very special place to me. I feel like everybody has the same Staten Island trajectory that grows up there. You grow up, you're like, I gotta get out of here. And then you get out of there, and a couple years go by, and you're like, it was actually pretty great over there.
Good over there.
I know all my favorite restaurants. Yep. The thing about Staten Island is no one cares. No one bothers me. I mean, like, no one even says nice things. Like, they don't say anything. Once in a while, I'll be like, hey, keep it up. So it's a very, like, people got stuff going on over there. Yeah. It's very 1985 over there. The food's amazing. You can have a house, and you're 40 minutes from the city. So I love it, and I'll always have a place there.
Our next blind item is about a bizarre collaboration between Usher and Chris Brown. So the supporter of the man who did very bad things to him at a young age is going on tour with the serial criminal. Makes sense. In more recent history, I feel like I've realized that Usher is a bad guy in this situation. At first, I thought that he was a victim of Diddy's and that he was just following Diddy's orders when it came to Justin. But now I'm starting to realize with him and Justin Bieber falling out that Usher just belongs in that category of people like Diddy and Chris Brown who harm people. I mean, I know you guys love Chris Brown's music, but let's be real. He's got so many different charges. Usher and Chris Brown, Baby Oils, and the Freak Off World Tour. It is interesting to me because just 3 years ago, they had an altercation between each other, and now they're going on tour. They must be very sure they're not going to fight again.
You can call me biased, but this might be the best news of 2026. Usher and Chris Brown are going on tour, and I am gagged. Listen, this wasn't just a regular announcement. Chris Brown went to Instagram and posted a whole production. Like, this looks straight out of a movie. Let me just show y'all.
It's time. Hell yeah.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed. They're calling it the R&B tour for Raymond and Brown. This is tea. This is what the people needed. If you're a real R&B lover, bring R&B back.
This comment reads, we don't need Usher. Everybody talking crap, but those tickets will sell fast. Is Diddy going too? Whosever idea it was to name it Raymond and Brown R&B is genius and needs a raise. While looking at the timeline, okay, so 3 years from now, Diddy would be out. So this could be the perfect opportunity for him to bring these two artists together and to insert himself so that he could start to become more mainstream. I'm telling you people, once Sean Combs is out, he's going to do everything in his power to save his reputation and get back on our screens. So Usher and Chris Brown got into a heated argument at Chris Brown's 34th birthday party in Las Vegas in May 2023. In some video footage obtained by TMZ, Usher yells at Chris for ignoring Teyana Taylor. At that point, Chris Brown left the venue, as did Usher, who allegedly returned inside moments later with a bloody nose. Let's take a look at this footage. So it looks like it was a roller rink party, and there's Teyana Taylor over there being ignored. I don't know if this is the altercation right here where Usher's kind of like, hey, go and greet like Teyana Taylor, but it's Chris Brown's birthday. Can't he just do what he wants?
Usher threw Chris Brown a skate party in Vegas for his 34th birthday. Allegedly, Breezy was intoxicated and got a little disrespectful to Teyana Taylor.
Oh, you did not disrespect Teyana Taylor. Did you guys see that moment of her on the red carpet at the Grammys, or Oscars, at the Oscars, where she went off?
You're a man putting your hands on a female.
Go backstage. Put on a little bit.
Because he's putting his hands on a female. What are you doing? He literally shoved me. He wasn't even her. He was damn near shoving her.
In which led into an argument that Usher tried to calm down. However, Breezy stormed out of the event to his tour bus. Usher followed him, and it was there that he and his crew allegedly jumped Usher.
Not the Siri voice giving us the tea. It looks like these two have been friends since 2005, so maybe it's kind of like a brotherly fight. I mean, at one point, Usher told Big Boy TV, if that ever happens, a collaboration, it will be one of the biggest things that anybody has ever experienced in entertainment, in celebration of two people who love each other. He says, I love Chris, and I don't like his music. I love his music, and I love him. He's my little brother, and he's always been there for me, and I've always been there for him. Through hard ups and down times, I've been there with him, and for us to be able to celebrate what we do together, man, man, that will be crazy.
Me and Chris will kill the world if we ever did something together like that. And for us to be able to celebrate what we do together, man, that'll be crazy. I'm gonna just leave it there.
Our next blind item is a controversial one. If you've not seen my video about Katy Perry that I posted yesterday, definitely check it out after this, because we're talking about her boyfriend, Justin Trudeau. And I don't try to get political on my, channel, but when it comes to Canadian politics, I guess, it's a little bit different from what I've heard from my Canadian watchers. Comment below how you guys feel about Justin Trudeau. I don't think I've heard anyone say anything good about him so far. And this next blind item is concerning. It looks like the north of the border A-list newspaper covered up a story about the former A-lister there watching underage you know what. We're going to have to go and censor that. Essentially, Justin Trudeau, who's a former prime minister, is being accused of some of the worst things that you could imagine. I don't even know, is this real? Like, Canadians chime in. This person says, you're saying the Globe and Mail covered up Trudeau watching. This would be wild and a serious allegation. Another person says that he's going to get canceled hard one of these days. Well, even recently, Justin Trudeau has been feeling the heat because he was over there at Coachella using single-use plastics, something that he banned in Canada a couple years ago. I think it took effect in 2022, if I remember correctly. But anyways, he's such a hypocrite and people cannot stand him. And now that he's like over here in American territory, I don't want him here. Like, you guys, like, send him back to Canada.
Here we go with this Canada again. Here we have Justin Trudeau. Sorry to tell you, sir, your hypocrisy is showing. So let me get this straight. In Canada, you ban single-use plastics like cups and things. But here you are in Coachella enjoying your cute little girlfriend, Katy Perry, who's an astronaut. I'm drinking out of a solo cup. Like, so it's okay in America? It's actually okay to use single-use cups? Like, did somebody lobby against single-use plastics in Canada? Did they write you a check personally? Because clearly you're not totally offended by single-use plastic. So I'm just saying.
There's just something so awkward about Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau at their age, just acting like they're teenagers at Coachella, especially because he has so many had so many responsibilities in the past. He's just really enjoying the celebrity lifestyle. I mean, he was already rich from being prime minister, and because of his father is an absolute wreck. But now, rich wasn't enough for him. He wants to be famous. I mean, good for them. Did he kind of screw my generation? Sure, but he is a person and is allowed to live his life post-politics, and he's doing it. Another person says, ran Canada right into hell. Gross. Another person says, ruined Canada and then went to Coachella for some fries. I don't care. This is honestly cringy as hell. Another person says, divorced dad energy. Glad he's enjoying Coachella after destroying the Canadian economy. I mean, things were really expensive whenever I went to Montreal, Canada, so I have empathy for the Canadian people, especially because a lot of us citizens in these countries cannot control who our world leaders are.
We're just going to leave it at this, but here's what our former prime minister said a year ago. We're going to choose to not go on vacation in Florida or Old Orchard Beach or wherever. We're going to choose to try to buy Canadian products and forego bourbon and other classic American products. And yeah, we're probably going to keep booing the American anthem. Okay, so maybe not so much anymore. I mean, when your paramour, that was the word we were looking for, is American, and she's probably making more money than you.
Now, getting into what this blind item was referring to, we're going to have to censor some of this, but yeah, Justin Trudeau has been accused by this author and actually sued for supposedly not reporting on the possession of this content. This guy named Jeffrey Brown has filed a lawsuit against this Canadian newspaper, the Toronto Star, saying that it failed to report a 2021 discovery of material on Justin Trudeau's phone and computers. Creep. The journalist indicated that the story will eventually come out, which would be really crazy for not only the Canadian government and Justin Trudeau, but just the people of Canada to have such a disturbing man who was once in power.
This is massive and breaking news. A lawsuit was just filed against the Toronto Star because they did not publish the fact that they were given information by an RCMP officer that Justin Trudeau was accessing I'm not going to say the word, but it rhymes with corn, online while he was the prime minister. This guy's a former criminal attorney. He made his lawsuit publicly available, and he included a Dropbox link to it. And as you can see the highlighted sections, he said, I met with a prominent Toronto Star investigative journalist named Robert Cribb to discuss a situation. And it said that he let me know that the Toronto Star had recently been told by the RCMP that Justin Trudeau was watching Kitty, I'll say corn, aka underage you know what it is, on his devices. He explained that the RCMP knew this because it was one of their responsibilities to monitor. He says, I contend that the Star had an obligation to provide this information to the Canadian public sometime between the date they received from the RCMP and the date that his time in office came to an end.
That was really heavy, even for my channel. So on a lighter note, our next blind item is about Taylor Swift and her wedding. It reads, the A-list singer is not sending out save the date cards. I feel like I've been to maybe 2 weddings in my life. I went to my sister's wedding. What is even a save the date card? Is that the RSVP, invite? I need some people who've gotten married to chime in below. This person says, I'm sure the date will have some convoluted significance that the Swifties will swear by. July 3rd is a red herring to keep the press away from the real wedding, June 13th. Doesn't she have enough material for a new album yet? I thought that was the reason for all her relationships. Yeah, because there won't be a wedding. Football workouts in various stages are starting soon. And as crappy as Trav looked on the field last year, he'd be wise not to skip a single one of those dates. I do wonder if Taylor Swift kind of expects Travis Kelce to back down from playing football, because at this point she's got all the money in the world. He really doesn't need to work. Taylor Swift would send him straight to hell if he told her that he couldn't get married on a specific date because of football practice. She's all about her numbers and numerology and what those things mean to the fans, and I appreciate the Easter eggs. I think it keeps it interesting. Supposedly the date of the wedding is going to be July 3rd, but like that one person pointed out in the comments, I feel like that's fake news to try to protect the wedding that's happening on June 13th. Another reason why they want to protect the information is not because of the press, but because of the fact that Taylor Swift wanted a certain venue and paid off another bride in her wedding to go and take that venue on that specific date. Now, I know that's not that big of a deal because this bride gets a free wedding. She agreed to it, obviously, because Taylor Swift's going to pay for her wedding. But I don't think that people like the sentiment of a billionaire coming in and just stealing someone else's experience because they want it for themselves.
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce watermarked their wedding invitations so that they know if there's a leak. And that is truly some mastermind level shit. A source confirmed to Entertainment Tonight that the save the dates went out and each one had the guest names written in the background. So this way, if anyone takes a photo, if they sell it, if they share it, Taylor and Travis will know exactly where it came from. Well done. No doubt, Taylor and Travis have a super tight inner circle, but when you talk about having a large wedding and inviting a lot of people, there are a lot of potential leaks. And we've already heard quite a few rumors as for the dates. July 4th weekend, June 13th weekend, who even freaking knows? And honestly, I don't care. With so many dates floating around and so many insiders giving information out, you have to assume that a lot of it is probably fake. Planted information so that Taylor and Travis know where the leak comes from, but also designed to throw off fans and, most importantly, paparazzi.
Our next blind item is about Amber Heard, and I was interested in covering this because I haven't heard of Amber Heard in a while. The blind item reads, apparently the Aqua mom is having trouble really making a lot of money, so is now exploiting her kids who are too young to understand what mom is doing to them. Comment below, were you guys team Johnny Depp or Amber Heard when those trials were going on? This person says, I'd forgotten all about her. So many women do this on Instagram. I feel sorry for the kids. Right now, Amber's living a totally new life in Spain. She relocated there right after the trial to Mallorca and then Madrid, where she lives with her 3-year-old daughter, who I believe was Elon Musk's baby. They had the baby through surrogate. I believe that he had a kid with her and that they share that baby together. I may be wrong, but that's what the rumors have said. Sources close to Amber say that living in Spain, far away from the US, and more importantly Hollywood, is significant. Her isolation from the world in which she used to inhabit is quite jarring when you consider she's taken a step back because of the trauma and the distress in her marriage, the divorce, and the legal drama that has caused her. Amber was once an A-list star, and that has all taken a lot out of her to the point where she has lost passion for living that Hollywood life. Johnny Depp has a lot of loyal friends and is hugely popular and powerful. Amber knows that there are certain franchises and studios that she won't be welcome to. Johnny Depp's career is still in his prime. He has been winning awards at the Cannes Film Festivals. He's been working on different biopics. So he's been working, but Amber Heard is just all isolated up in Spain, which sounds kind of sad and depressing, especially if you have Elon's baby. It's just like, ugh, having to deal with that, man. We do have a clip of Amber Heard in Spain actually being approached by some fans, so I guess it's not total isolation. Take a look.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Amber, please. Una foto, por favor. Muy amable, muchas gracias.
¿Qué tal?
Hola. Muy amable, muchas gracias.
Hermano, perdón, ni un problema, tío.
Sí.
Ya sabes que...
Muchas gracias.
De nada.
¿Me haces una foto, por favor?
Sí, claro. Solamente voy a hacer uno más, ¿ok?
Vale,
porque tengo
si
un
puede ser
poco
ahí.
de prisa.
también por el tráfico. Muchas gracias.
This blind item is so funny to me because I was just at the gym the other day and Benson Boone was there working out, so I might see him at the gym after this. But this blind item reads that despite the fall off for this older former A-list singer, the celebrity cult still tried to recruit him. He said no. Now, this is refreshing because typically these celebrities agree to join this church cult, but Benson Boone said hell no. Sabrina Carpenter should take some notes. This person says unseasoned baked chicken who makes music that your coworkers love tells us he doesn't stand for anything. He thinks he said nothing, he said it all. What else do we expect from his demographic? Benson did confirm that he's no longer a Mormon, which is interesting. Seems like all the Mormon wives and Mormon people are kind of leaving the church. Shout out to all the Mormons though. I do have some family that are Mormon. Benson says, I don't want to be part of one religion. Well, the cult should listen in. I have my own opinion. Some are from this religion, some are from this religion, some are from no religion. Benson says growing up, a lot of people at church would talk about these experiences they've had and these personal revelations and feelings and voices. I never felt it physically present as they did, so I was always confused and frustrated. My parents definitely have their own views, but when it comes to religion and God, they want me to figure it out on my own. And whatever I come to, whatever I feel is right, that's what they want for me.
Here's my unsolicited advice for Benson Boone, because my whole For You page right now is like Benson Boone hate. Why do I hate Benson Boone so bad? The dude's an ex-Mormon, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I know he grew up Mormon. I'm not sure how ex-Mormon he is, but I think when he is ready to fully leave the church, fully unpack it, he's gonna make some pretty good music. And obviously I'm biased because I'm ex-Mormon, but people fuck with that shit because it's honest. There is a lot to be gleaned from faith crisis and deconstruction. It's real, it's relatable, and I think that's Benson Boone's next move, perhaps a career-saving move. I think we're kind of seeing this with David Archuleta right now. He's kind of like, fuck it, I'm gonna do me, because he also grew up Mormon. And I hope that's what we see from Benson. I have a soft spot for him.
Our next blind item is about Barry Keoghan. It reads, this A-list Irish actor got some work done to his face and he really just needs to stop. Just be you. It does seem like Barry Keoghan met some med spa person and decided to put his full trust in them, and now he's all injected up and he looks different. This person writes that Barry Keoghan is a funny looking guy, but he gets a lot of quality offers, so he shouldn't really care. Barry Keoghan, he admitted in several interviews that people make fun of his looks and it upsets him greatly. It is interesting because when Saltburn was popular, everyone was simping over Barry Keoghan. They loved him. They wanted to be with him. Now it's like he can't even go outside because he says he feels so insecure about what people say online about his appearance, which is actually so sad to hear. He said that there is such a nasty side of the internet. I removed myself from online, but I'm still a curious human being that wants to go on. And if I attend an event or I go somewhere, I see how it's received and it's not nice, because every time people see him, they oh, jump because he just looks so different.
But there's also a nasty side of it, and I think I removed myself from online, but I'm still a curious human being that wants to go on. And, if I attend an event or if I go somewhere, you want to see how it was received. And it's not nice, there's a lot of hate online. There's a lot of abuse of how I look. And it's kind of past the point of everyone goes through that, and everyone does, but it's made me shy away. It's made me really go inside myself, not want to attend places, not want to go outside. And I say this being absolute pure and honest to you, it's becoming a problem. So yeah, I don't have to hide away because I am hiding away. I don't have to go to places because I actually don't go to places because of these things. But when that starts leaking into your art, it becomes a problem because then you don't want to even be on screen anymore. So.
Now, I don't know much about Brooks Nader. I know that she is a popular influencer, model turned influencer, and it looks like this guy Taryn has some things to say about her. This blind item reads, well, if someone says that you're the worst SEX they've ever had and you really don't want to have SEX, then the best thing to do is to be a beard for hire. Interesting how that works out. Now, I know Brooks Nader is known for being super hot and sexy, so if she's not good at the act, I guess that's not really on brand for her. I think most men who claim women are not good in bed are not very good themselves, or they want her to do something she's not comfortable with. With the right guy, any woman can be good. She's had a series of disappointing dudes that she's tried to get enthusiastic about. Can't really blame her for giving up. Well, Dancing with the Stars pro Gleb says that Brooke Nader was the worst SEX that he ever had. So it seems like this is a pattern. In an interview, he said, when I dated her, it was pretty bad. He told a fellow contestant Dakota, probably the worst SEX of my life. He said she was so effed up. She wanted to make out with me. Then I was like, oh, that's not my vibe. She choked me, pushed me against the wall, and chipped my tooth. Sounds like they had a messy breakup too. He says the last communication I received from her was a text on April 6th asking to speak. He continued, he said, I called her today in response, but no reply. So maybe they weren't a match. But here's a clip of Brooke talking a little bit about what her type is like.
Not looking for Mr. Right now. What qualities are Mr. Right for you?
Honestly, I don't even know. Honestly, maybe it's Mr., maybe it's Mrs. I don't even know. My sister keeps telling me I gotta switch teams. She's like over me with the guys. I'm 28. I've been married only, so I'm like, we'll see what happens. I'm open to whatevs, but I'm not looking for any kind of a partner right now.
Night is the night.
Yeah.
If you want to switch teams.
Well, yeah. All the most beautiful women in the world are here, so here we go.
This is our final blind item of today, so leave a blue heart in the comments below if you've made it this far. We spoke about Natasha Lyonne yesterday on my podcast, but I wanted to speak a little bit more about her. She's not doing well. I told you a couple weeks ago that the poker actress wasn't sober, even though she said she was. She's worse off now than she was a decade ago. I did a deep dive on Natasha before and went through all of the years of her being addicted to substances, her destroying one of her friend's apartments. She's really been through it. This comment reads, Natasha Lyonne, recovery is hard. I hope she can get back to that journey. This is kind of minor actually. She was drunk or high on a plane and she complied and was nice to the crew. Thought it would be worse. No, I'm pulling for her. She almost died back then. Another person said that she was sober for 10 years. She could do it again. She just posted on X seeming to blame whoever owns Page 6 and New York Post as a hit piece, but we all saw the video on the red carpet where Brian was freaking walking her off. She did end up getting onto a flight right after the premiere of Euphoria, and there was a moment on the red carpet where it seemed like Natasha wasn't fully there. This comment says, I hope she gets help soon. Very sad to see that she's using again. Another person says, that's your headline? How about she completely fell off the wagon and was blitzed so badly she couldn't walk on her own, then got kicked off a flight that she was on. You care about her top? She can barely walk. How about her well-being? This is sad to watch, this person writes. These are tough times. Can't blame anyone for wanting to numb reality. Addiction's a hard thing. And oh geez, I'm worried that she's relapsed. I hope that she's okay. So what the flight attendants are saying is that Natasha was in first class and she sat there with her laptop. They were getting ready to go and take off and she refused to close her laptop even though multiple flight attendants asked her to close her laptop. She just sat there like frozen, not responding. She was wearing the same clothing, the sheer top that she wore at the Euphoria premiere, and it looks like she caused an hour delay, which would have pissed me off. The staff were eventually able to retrieve her laptop and the plane taxied to the runway before it returned to the gate, where a Delta staffer boarded to speak with her. They asked her if she needed medical attention and then said that they need to take her off this plane and that does she need help with her belongings, because clearly she needs help with something. She was heard asking, where are we? We're still in LA. The plane hasn't gone anywhere. The plane is not going anywhere until you get off of it. Supposedly, Natasha coolly shushed the staffer before heading towards the bathroom and coming out snacking on a bag of pretzels. What? Then she departed the plane obediently after her luggage was removed. The captain later revealed that they had a deal with a passenger who was unable to follow basic commands as they addressed the more than an hour-long delay. I hate flight delaying. He said, quote, we have a passenger for whatever reason who wouldn't follow some basic commands. We had a passenger who didn't seem up to the task tonight, so that's why they were asked to be booked on another flight.
Natasha Lyonne has posted a second post on X trying to explain what happened about a recent incident on a Delta flight where she was asked to leave the flight. In this statement, it's a little bit better than the first in that it's a little more clear. She explains that she took a Lunesta, which is a sleeping pill, and it made her very drowsy, which is why she was not responding to some of the requests from flight attendants. She also apologized to other passengers for the delay. She also spoke again about regretting missing her Drew Barrymore interview. And while this statement is better than the first because it provides some context about what happened and provides an apology, the fact that she mentions that she was detained by ICE is actually going to get more people talking about it because it raises a ton of questions about what actually happened on this flight. So if her goal was to get people to move on from this story and reassure her fans about her well-being, I'm not sure that's going to be accomplished with this statement.
Natasha, who completed rehab in 2006, previously spoke about her downward spiral. She said, spiraling into addiction is really, really scary. Some things have a very A to B scientific effect, like alcohol is a depressant, cocaine is a stimulant, And then these other drugs are bad. I mean, sounds like she's done the whole mix of them. She said it's weird to talk about. I was definitely as good as dead. You know, a lot of people don't come back. That makes me feel wary and self-conscious. I wouldn't want to feel prideful about it. People really rallied around me and pulled me up from my effing bootstraps.
You know, it's like I'm a changed person in terms of I'm no longer like self-destructive in these same sort of violent ways that land you in, you know, hospitals and DUIs and that kind of thing.
We are sending some healing energy to Natasha Lyonne. But I want to hear what you guys think of this week's blind item breakdown episode. We had a lot of blind items. We went through a lot. We got a lot done, and I feel good about it. Do you guys feel good about it? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate it. Come on, Sloan. English. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, but I will see you guys in a new video soon, and let me know what you want me to talk about next. Bye, guys.